Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and this has been an interesting journey since I bought this AMD graphics card. Now, part of me I kind of feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit, but then part of me also thinks that I'm starting to get to a point where I'm kind of at a crossroads with this whole PC thing. To be completely honest with you guys, I know that I'm not the I'm definitely not like an expert when it comes to PCs. And to be completely honest with you, I don't think anybody on YouTube's a expert when it comes to PCs. I think a lot of them pretty much started, as PC enthusiasts, and then Nvidia started sending them graphics cards, AMD started sending them graphics cards, and now pretty much every single one of them are essentially advertising for graphics cards. To be completely honest with you, that's the way I feel, and that's the way you should feel too. I'm not really trying to tell you how you should feel, but you should kind of feel like that. You should question everything. You should literally question everything when it comes to buying something. Or you could just be like me and just buy something and enjoy it. If it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Replace it. Do whatever. Do whatever you got to do to make yourself happy. Now, let me explain to you guys a little bit, because still is a console channel. I've been playing consoles my whole life, whatever, but getting into the PC space and covering like the PC things from a point of view of like a console player just getting into it, I kind of do believe that there's valuable content there to be made, and mistakes and the learning curve of somebody, going from consoles to getting into PC. I think that's valuable. I think that's very valuable. That's why I keep making these videos. People keep asking me, why do you keep making these videos about AMD and blah, blah, blah? And it's like, who else is going to make these videos, man? Like, who else is going to make these? Everybody else on the internet, all the other channels and stuff, they are essentially just there to create FOMO and make you want to buy new cards, man. Nobody really understands that there's like a lot that goes into like moving away from PC, or moving away from consoles and getting into PC. And there's already a lot of there's already an extreme amount of options and stuff out there to buy, that when you don't know much, your mindset just kind of goes to, all right, man, I'm just gonna buy the best so that I don't have to worry about it anymore, or I'm gonna shoot for as high as I can get so I don't have to worry about it anymore. The one thing that kind of stopped me dead in my tracks was the whole the shortage last time. I spent more than enough on a laptop, a tower, a pre-built, and then that graphics card, that 3080, to have bought a whole 3090 PC like out the door. But there wasn't one available, and getting one, I wasn't even like, you weren't even really able to get graphics cards until I bought that 3080, and that was almost 2 whole years. So 2 whole years I just kept trying to get what I could get for the channel, and that's pretty much all I was getting was for the channel. But now that I've gotten this AMD card, it's kind of different. Like, my feeling towards PC gaming has changed dramatically from having it as, a necessity for the channel, but then still being able to play games, versus now I can game on a PC and actually really enjoy it. But then I run into things like, that 3080 did perform better with ray tracing than the 7900 XT is. I mean, not like a whole bunch, but I mean, it's to the point where I'm getting about 30 frames a second with that ray tracing overdrive at 1440p on the on the 7900 XT, where I was getting about 40 with DLSS on the 3080. So I mean, it's not like a significant amount, but it is, it was a little bit better on that 3080 for sure. So I made that video. That Cyberpunk. I hope you guys watched that one. You know, just kind of talking about like the ray tracing experience on the AMD card. And I've said this before, man. When I got into AMD, I literally thought I was leaving that on the table. Like I was fine with that. But now I'm not so sure if I'm 100% fine without having ray tracing. And you could thank Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for that one. I was playing that again today, and you know, the experience from when I played that game on PlayStation 5 without ray tracing or anything, you know, the 60 frames per second mode, it was good. I mean, the game looked fine and everything, but now when I turn it on, you know, on the PC and I see that at max settings with ray trace shadows and ray trace reflections and everything just in there, and I'm sitting there and I'm playing it and I'm feeling like, wow, man, this is actually a really freaking beautiful looking experience. So that there kind of puts me in a mindset where yeah, I do like ray tracing. But then I come back to reality and I think, okay, ray tracing is kind of new. Nvidia kind of brought it to the table. Just like with all other previous, you know, technologies that came and now they run significantly better on just, you know, even base consoles. We're looking at a double whammy right now, guys. We have Unreal Engine 5, which is probably the best looking engine ever made when it comes to creating, you know, realistic looking visuals. We have an Unreal Engine 5 with ray tracing tacked on top of that. Both of those on their own are heavy. They're heavy. So here's the thing, man. This is why I'm at a crossroads. Do I continue to just chase, you know, I mean, essentially is what we're doing is we're just kind of helping fund, you know, like we're just getting strung along, and that's how I feel, man. I feel like we're just getting strung along. They're just giving us like incremental updates to get us just a little bit better performance. And it makes sense why when new graphics cards come out, you know, the whole slew of the test games are mostly old games. Like now I understand that, because when you first bought that game and you had your hardware, the best good hardware that you could afford, you were like, oh man, I just wish I had a little bit. And then when you go buy a new graphics card, you can go back and you can check that game out. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not in the habit of every time I get a new graphics card to go back and play through all of the games that I've already beaten. Like I'm not in that habit. So, you know, I mean, at a point, you know, you get to a point where it's like, well, I mean, like if it's unplayable, obviously when you first buy it and you did hang on to it, like getting a new graphics card could make that experience playable. So that there definitely helps. But you always hear about backlogs and all of these other things, and it's just interesting, man. Like the more money we put into PC gaming, the more they're gonna keep doing this. Every 2 years, there's a new upgrade for our graphics cards, for our CPUs, for all of that, and they tell us, oh yeah, this is necessary to move forward and blah blah blah. But I mean, if you think about it, if you go back over the whole time frame of gaming and you look at just how far video game graphics have come and just how much we've spent along that time to get to where we are right now, I guarantee all of us have probably spent a significant amount of money on games and hardware and all of that stuff to a point where it's like, wow, man, when does it ever just get to a point where like how many more trillions of dollars do these companies need to make for us to be able to get a solid experience, man? Like seriously. Like Nvidia keeps bumping their prices up every single generation, you know. We're almost paying $2,000 for a 2-year graphics card. And trust me, if you went and you bought a 2-year graphics card, like if you go and buy a 4090 or something, you're probably the kind of person that would buy a 5090. You're probably the person that would buy a 6090 when that comes out. If you're willing to spend that much money for a graphics card, like you are the kind of person that is probably willing to continue to upgrade that. Or maybe you are that one person that literally buys that card and expects 2 years out of it. Yeah, or 4 years or whatever. Maybe you're that every other generation guy. I mean, if you bought a 3090 and now you're looking at the 4090, you're probably thinking, oh man, you got to upgrade, because of like frame gen or whatever. So I don't know. That's why I'm at a crossroads. Like, I don't want to influence people to keep buying these graphics cards and keep spending money on products that they probably don't really need to make them happy. I don't want to keep doing that, I mean, it's so much easier to just cover the games and cover the consoles and do all of that. Like getting into this like whole PC thing and then like putting out videos of things that I see a difference in, and then having everybody come to me and like try to call me a liar or say that like my testing methodologies are not right or whatever like that. I don't care. Like, I don't care, man. Like I showed you my testing methodology. I never said it was like right. I never said that. I specifically said in that video, this is the experience that I have had on the Nvidia graphics card. This is the experience that I'm getting on my AMD card. This is why I feel like there's such a big difference. And everybody's like, you can't do that to my Nvidia. You can't. That's not fair. That's not fair. You need to show it on the same screen. And I'm like, dude, you guys aren't even listening to what I'm saying. You guys are so worried about protecting Nvidia. Like, why, dude? They're the best. They're literally the best. Why do you need to protect the best? Why is there so much? That's what I don't get, man. The PlayStation dudes are like, oh my gosh, man, I can't play an Xbox. Why, dude? There's games on the Xbox that are worth playing. The Nvidia dudes are like, no, man, the drivers and blah, blah, blah. All of this nonsense that I'm not running into. No driver problems. You know what I mean? I've got a smooth experience on this AMD graphics card. But they'll continue to press and push forward with this narrative that AMD drivers are bad, or AMD is garbage, or AMD's not worth it, or AMD has bad ray tracing. AMD's ray tracing is pretty much on point with what I was getting from, what we were getting from last generation Nvidia graphics cards. Performance and everything. Like you're getting a lot better performance and you're getting way better ray tracing with the RDNA 3. I haven't ran into any real driver issues. I guess there was driver issues at the beginning. I mean, whatever, that's kind of expected. You get driver issues with PlayStation 5, with Xbox, with everything. I think that everybody just wants to find a reason to literally complain all the time. And I'm no different. I mean, I wasn't always complaining about that 3080 when I had it. I've went back and I've watched a couple of my benchmark videos, and usually I was pretty happy. Usually I was pretty satisfied. But then when you started getting to the newer games, that's when, like I was still trying to be happy about it. But then, you just kind of notice, man, like that whole VRAM thing from last generation graphics cards. That was such a bad thing, man. But I don't know. I don't want to give anybody false information. And I know that a lot of us, if you get on an AMD graphics card, you are going to notice like it's a lot easier to navigate and get like colors and stuff like that. But there are things that you're going to leave on the table too, man, that unforeseen things that you might be utilizing your Nvidia graphics card for that I don't even know about. So when it comes to like getting information, I get it. I get it that it's tough to get information for AMD graphics cards. And that's the whole reason why I've gotten so many views and so many people flocking to the channel for that, is because there's not a lot of good information out there. Most of it is biased towards Nvidia, or they cover the AMD card. They'll start talking about the AMD card and then boom, right over to Nvidia. They're just talking about Nvidia most of the time. And so I get that. You just want to know, like, I get that people just want some AMD content that isn't, that doesn't have a whole bunch of like selling points for Nvidia in it. I get it. Your whole reason for looking at AMD is because you don't want to keep paying Nvidia's high prices and you just want something that's going to work. I get it. That's the reason why I did it. That and Starfield's, gonna be optimized for AMD. So I was like, yeah, okay, I want that. I'm just trying to do my best to help you guys. That's all I'm doing. Like, I bought the AMD card because I was sick and tired of Nvidia, overcharging me for stuff and, making me FOMO for their products. So I did. I switched over to AMD and I'm having a good time with it. I'm having fun with it. So at the end of the day, I do recommend AMD. I do think it's solid. I think that most of your worries and most of your concerns are going to be okay. And I mean, like, think about it. If you're getting a 7900 XT or 7900 XTX, these are very powerful cards. They are. I'm running games at 6K at over 60 frames a second. I'm running games at 8K at like 30 frames a second. Like, these are pretty powerful cards. They're pretty powerful cards. They are significantly more powerful than the consoles, and they have the VRAM to push the textures and ray tracing and all of that. And at the end of the day, that's pretty much what matters the most. Is it possible that AMD is not going to come out with graphics cards, top-end graphics cards? Yeah, but we shouldn't need them. We shouldn't need them to play these games. Hopefully, I mean, we'll find out, as more Unreal Engine 5 games start coming out, but I feel like we're going to be okay for a couple more years. Like, I feel like we'll be okay for a couple years with these AMD cards. Like, I'm prepared to keep mine for at least the rest of this generation and probably some of next generation. I'm not like foaming at the mouth to go upgrade right now. Like, so far my performance and everything that I've been playing has been good. Like, I've been happy. So I don't foresee myself running out and doing anything else anytime soon. We'll have Forza Motorsport that'll come out soon. We'll have Starfield that'll be out. Immortals of Averin, Ride 5. All of these games that are coming out like really shortly. Like, we're going to find out really quick how long I'm going to keep this AMD 7900 XT. If it starts to fall like really short, like if I can't run these games at 1440p at like respectable settings and play and enjoy the games, then maybe we'll start talking about upgrading. But right now, I think we're pretty set, man. I think this channel is set with this hardware for at least the foreseeable future, and I've said that multiple times. Like, I don't have any desire to go upgrade anytime soon. If anything, it'd probably be a CPU and maybe some more SATA or some more SSDs. So I'm pretty happy. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, man. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.